Thank you. So let's get an update from the UK market. That's where Juliana Olayinka, my colleague, is joining me for this after lunch conversation. We were there together in the morning, Juliana. So let's get this lunch together on this business side. So, Juliana, where are you? Getting into this conversation, where are the markets as we speak right now on these deceleration in the US and Iran tensions? We didn't get time to put this together in the morning as far as the UK markets are concerned this Tuesday. Welcome.
Well, nice to see you again, Bosun. Look, the Iranian-American tensions do remain high, but in London it seems as if the sentiment has died down a little bit. Surprise, surprise, BP and Royal Dutch Shell, their shares are down at intraday between about 0.8 and 0.6%. It has surprised a lot of people, but some analysts are saying because Tehran decided to pull out of that 2015 nuclear treaty and didn't, first of all, go to military action, then perhaps the market may have over-exaggerated with the price of oil. That's what analysts are saying. That dip wasn't enough to pull down the FTSE because at intraday, the all-share is up 0.16%, the FTSE 100 is up 0.12%, and the FTSE 250 also up at 0.44%. In currencies, the British pound slightly down on the US dollar by 0.5%, up on the euro, though, by 0.13%, and down on the Japanese yen by 0.02%.
Very interesting that while the scare, what they call the knee-jerk approach, happened overnight, over the weekend till Monday, we noticed that pump price in the UK was beginning to react to that development. Did you have any idea what this is all about?
Well, this is a really interesting story. And of course, we know as soon as oil prices do rise, then everybody feels the effect, particularly here in the UK, because oil, as we know, is priced in dollars. So if there's any change on the sterling and the sterling decreases against the dollar, then it is affected on the pump. And over the past couple of days, we have seen that sterling has been down on the US dollar. Also, as well, an increase of $2 per barrel on oil does see in the UK, like for like, a 1 penny increase in the pump at per litre. So every time there's a $2 increase, the UK fuel will rise by 1 penny. Now, analysts are saying that this typically doesn't affect major petrol stations because they usually buy their oil way in advance. So they've got a lot of inventory, and it doesn't affect them. But it does affect grocers and retailers. So the likes of Tesco, Sainsbury's, Morrison's, and these are the retailers where a lot of people do buy their petrol. They buy typically 2 weeks in advance. So, of course, if oil prices raise, then it really affects them. So we have seen a rise, not much, but about a penny per litre. So it does add up if you're somebody that does like to really fill up your tank if you've got those extra pounds on you. But as we're seeing the oil prices decrease towards the end of the week, perhaps there'll be a decrease in fuel also.
I agree. It's not just a penny. It's a lot more into a penny, isn't it? So let's talk about, we'll talk about fuel. So you put the fuel in the car, luxury car like Aston. What's the price? Why is this very nice car, the share price going down on the London Stock Exchange? And do we have any early numbers, as it were, from the retailers listed on the FTSE 100? Juliana, any sneak preview on that?
Well, Aston Martin, such a shame. You know, it's a luxury retailer, but anytime you hear Aston Martin mentioned in a business column in the UK, the word struggling is put before that. And that's exactly what's happening. They've issued their first profit warning of the year. This is the second profit warning in 6 months. They also issued one in the summer. And at early trading, their shares were down 15%. At intraday, their shares are down 9.5%. And that's because they have predicted that their sales for the end of the year are going to be 47% less than it was this time last year. So they're saying they're going to get profits before tax of about 103 to 104 million pounds, and it was double that just a year earlier. As we've seen with many productions happening here in the UK, they've said it's just a really troubling market. And also as well, they're struggling to shift their luxury car, which is a shame because their rival Rolls-Royce, their sales are up by about 25%. So not good news for Aston Martin. In other news, Sainsbury's and Morrison's, I mentioned them before, they are grocers, retailers on the FTSE 100. Their shares were up between 1 and 1.5%. And this is even after they posted not great Christmas sales. Retailers doing pretty well in the UK at the moment. And it seems as if for those two in particular, Black Friday really did shift up their profits.
Very interesting. And just on your advice, I just added struggling here before Aston Martin Motors. I just complied with what you said. Thank you. Have a great day. Whatever you're driving today, have a nice one at the office and back home. Thank you so much, Julian Olayinka. My colleague will see you again tomorrow morning, bright and early, 10 o'clock on Business Morning.